Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another update for my Panda palette. And I'm pretty happy with the progress that I managed to make. I think it helps that I have at least one less palette to focus on. It feels very weird to me not to have 3 palettes to show you this time, but well, that is the case. Normally this project should just be 1 palette at a time anyway, but for me it never seems to be because I'm always rolling things over into the next year. And this palette is dragging on for a lot longer than I expected as well. But let's get started. The palette that I'm just talking about is my Amuse palette. I was working on this last year and I'm still trying to get through it. I really thought that at least the smaller shades in here would have been done by now already, but for some reason I've been a bit more distracted with my Panda's eyeshadows and I guess 1 or 2 other eyeshadows in other projects. But let's take a look at what this looked like last time. And I think my goals were to try and finish off about half of that gray shade. Like expand the blush, the pan on that blush, and just keep working on the red and the blue. Now this is where we are right now. And you can see that at least the pan on that blush is finally starting to expand, which is something. But yeah, let's go through from the top to the bottom, starting off with that gray shade. I have used the gray shade, how many times? 22 times since the last time, which is a good amount of uses. I have been using it a little bit more with a pencil brush, which tends to mean I'm picking up a little bit less than when I'm using it with kind of my crease brush and like waving it out a little bit more. Waving it out, I don't know if that's the right word. But I've just been trying to kind of get it a bit more specifically in my outer V because it was just getting a bit too dark for my liking. I don't know, sometimes I feel like that and sometimes I don't. Over the last month I did it most of the time. So using it with my pencil brush, it's definitely getting thinner, but there still is an okay amount of product left in there, so it might still take me 2 months to get through all of that. And then I can finally get to the darker shade in my other palette. Then other eyeshadows first. The red shade I've used 5 times over the last month. I'm kind of saving that for once we go into fall time because I know I love warmer shades during fall time, and so often because they are also my favorite shades, I already used most of them up by the time we get to fall, and then I don't really get to wear my warm shades during fall. So I'm saving that a little bit for fall time. So I haven't fully been diving into that yet, but I have used it whenever I felt like it just made more sense with the look that I was going for. And then the blue shade I've used 9 times, which is definitely not bad considering it's just not my type of shade. But I've really been trying to get into it a little bit more. I hit side pan on like the top here as well. And there definitely is a lot less of the blue shade in here. Actually, the gray shade I've used 142 times in total now. The red shade with those additional 5 uses at 72. And the blue shade I've used 9 times now, like I said, and that brings me to 58. And it's interesting to see that there is less of the blue shade left than there is of the red. Which is probably, again, because I've used it in my crease an okay amount of times as well. And that crease brush just picks up more of the product than like a denser brush that is picking up things more for my lid. So yeah, and then we've got the blush still left. I've used that 20 times over the last month, bringing me to a total of 282. But it is expanding, the pan is expanding. I've actually used it as an eyeshadow twice as well over the last month because I just felt like it made sense. It's the type of color that I wanted to use, so I was like, why not use the blush as an eyeshadow for a little bit, and that definitely helped expand that pan a little bit as well. It was really thin kind of around the part that is the biggest part of the pan right now, and like it did start to crumble a little bit when I tried to use it as an eyeshadow, and I've used the crumbly bits up with my blush brush after that still. Yeah, there still is a lot left in that blush as well. So let's take a look at my other palette and then we'll talk goals after that. So let's take a quick look at what my Catrice palette looked like last time. And well, my main goal was to try and start making some nice progress on the gray shade in here, because I finished my other palette off, which had a kind of transition shade that I was using. And of course I was trying to get through a good bit of that champagne shade as well, so I could hopefully finish it off in the next month. And now this is where we are right now. And as you can see, especially that champagne shade, there's not a lot left anymore. So that's very exciting. But also for this one, let's go through top to bottom. Burgundy shade, eggplant shade, whatever you want to call this shade. I haven't used it because I'm still working on that dark gray, and I just want that dark gray gone before I'm going into this guy too much. And also I think this is going to be great for fall time, so combining the red from that other palette with this one I think is going to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to doing that once I finish off that gray shade and we get probably into October. I don't think I'm gonna do that a lot in September yet. So yeah, no uses. I've used it 40 times in total. The gray shade I have used 21 times since last time, so that is very exciting. I have not used that burgundy shade 40 times. I've used it 38 times. The gray shade I've used 21 times for a total of 40 right now. So I had used it 19 times before, and in the last month I've more than doubled the amount that I've used it over the last 7 months. We're at the end of August already. Yes, we're at the end of August. So yeah, 21 uses. I've definitely started to expand the pan, but at the same time there's still a lot of product left, which is not gonna be done by the end of this year, pretty sure. But that's just the shade that I've been using as my transition shade pretty much every day I've been doing my makeup. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I like it. Like it's of course more a cool tone, so it doesn't work with everything, but it's light and neutral-ish, if that's even possible, a neutral cool tone eyeshadow. It's like, it's transition-y enough not to like overtake any of the looks that I've been doing. Then the champagne shade shows you the amount of times that I actually did my eyeshadow, because I always use this one, and that's 24 times since my last update, bringing me to a total of 191. And I wasn't expecting to get this close to finishing it up. I thought there would be a bit more left in here still, but I think I've literally got about a week's worth of product left, and then I'm gonna have to find a different brow bone highlight, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, it's almost gone. So that's good. At least one of these eyeshadows is gonna be gone by the end of this year. Then the teal shade I have used once. There was one day where I felt like using it, so I did. Bring me to a total of 9 uses, which is an average of pretty much 1 use per month, which is great. We'll get to it at some point. Yeah, and that's all of these shades. So let's talk goals for next time, starting off with my Amuse palette. I have decided that I want to challenge myself. I really want to get rid of that blue shade, basically. So I'm gonna challenge myself now that it's not fall yet, and I know I won't want to wear this come like fall time. I really want to try and get more into my warmer shades at that point. So I'm gonna try and use this every single day I'm doing my eye makeup, whether that's in my crease, whether it's mixed with something, blended together. That is my goal for September. I'm filming this on the 26th of August, so I'm still gonna have a couple of days to play around with some other things. Maybe use some of the eyeshadows from my Pandas eyeshadows that might not work with this perfectly. We'll see, but yeah, I'm gonna use this every single day of the month of September when I'm using makeup. There might be days that I'm not wearing makeup and I'm not gonna apply this just for the sake of having used it that day, but yeah, that's my plan for the blue shade. The red shade I won't be touching a lot yet probably, but once October comes around, I hope to be using this a lot in fall type looks. The gray shade I want to use as much as possible, hopefully finish off most of it so I can finish it off the month after. And then the blush, I just want to keep expanding the pan. Then for this palette, I'm not expecting to really use that first shade very much yet. I want to hit side pan on the gray, which I'm very close to doing that at the top here, so I think that definitely should be possible. And of course I want to finish off the champagne shade right here. The teal shade I might use once or twice. It might actually work nicely with the blue shade one way or another, so it might show up more often. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, those are my goals. Only 2 palettes, so there's not more to show. I keep feeling like there's something missing at this point, but that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye.